shock and awe.
I did not expect this at all.
So
Are we live right now?
yeah, we're about to be live.
Okay.
I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. So Corey, you're currently at work right now. Do you want to be the one to break the news of what we just saw be reported by Rick Stroud?
Yeah, so I saw the tweet and I had to jump on with you because this is huge and this ruins the video I just recorded last night and I was planning on posting this week, but that's fine. Mike Smith has been fired,
Yeah,
which I'm dumbfounded. Like, why now and why not over the bye week when they would have had 2 weeks to get used to it? I'm dumbfounded. I'm shocked, and I feel like we needed to broadcast because I know everybody else is probably feeling that way. A lot of other people are probably at work, but hopefully they're joining in with us on now, like what happens next, because that question has to be raised.
yeah. But what I thought was interesting was when I saw it on Twitter. I was just about to go leave with my girlfriend to go get food, and then I was like, oh, let me just check Twitter real quick, and I see Rick Stroud. The Buccaneers have fired Mike Smith, and I was like, did I read that right? And then as soon as I read it, you texted me saying the Bucs fired Mike Smith. And I was like, what? This is real, you know? So yeah, they've actually fired Mike Smith. The crazy. Yeah, nobody can believe it right now. Like what you just said, why now? You know, of all things, why didn't they do it in the bye week? I don't know. This definitely goes against what the Glazers have done in the past. Because everybody thought, from national media to all of us, we all, you know, to all the content creators, you know, me, you, the Pewtercast, all the podcasts, you know, we all thought that the Glazers never make mid-season coaching changes. They never have. So this is something that's pretty different.
Well, you know, you and I both called into the Pewtercast last night, and I said, like, vehemently, I was like, we all know Mike Smith is staying. Like, if he was going to get fired, it was going to be over the bye week. We're just going to have to live with it. They want to keep Mike Smith. And I just said it as fact. Like, I just thought there was no way that this would happen now. But maybe the Glazers have swung the hammer. Maybe they forced the issue, or maybe Dirk was like, okay, I gave him the bye week and, you know, some time to fix whatever was broken, and it clearly wasn't fixed. So I'm sure it didn't help all of the tweets and all of the screenshots going around of how abysmal this defense has been since Mike Smith has taken over, and that it's shown that it's a trend rather than just an anomaly. But yeah, I can't wait to see what the other reporters come up with. Stroud, Almond, Peter Report, like everybody, what they come up with as far as the behind the scenes, like how this went down.
Right, because initially Ian Rappaport was the first one to report it, and then all the Bucs people, all the Bucs writers, you know, kind of confirmed it and whatnot. I completely agree with what you just said. Is, you know, I think during the bye week, what Dirk Cutter had said was, you know, he got the opinions of all the players, and I think they took everything into account, and they thought, okay, we've had a week now. This is basically our last chance to fix things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been a decision by Dirk Cutter, or maybe it could have been Jason Light and the Glazers kind of twisting the arm and saying, hey, dude, this isn't working. We just lost another shootout, you know, and it wasn't our offense's fault. You
Yeah.
see the common denominator here. I'm still stunned. Still stunned.
Yeah. Well, and I'm seeing that they followed up and said that Mark Duffner is expected to be the interim. So
Right?
there we had it. You know, we
Um,
were like, is it Duffner, is it Buckner, or is it somebody else? And looks like Duffner's going to be it.
right. And like what we talked about before when we had the live stream on here, we talked about all the potential replacements and what they would
Mm-hmm.
bring in. What I think is going to be most interesting is, like what we've talked about, is, you know, it's still going to be Mike Smith's scheme in a way, but maybe maybe it can just be explained better by Mark Duffner, or by, you know, maybe there'll be something more there. You know what I mean? Right. Oh my gosh, everybody's just celebrating in the chat. This is hilarious. So Salvador asked, do you think the Buccaneers defense can be saved?
Well, that is another question.
It's like what people have said, you know, you can't get much worse, and you really couldn't get much worse than what Mike Smith was doing, you know.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, you can only go up from here. Just this is, I, I didn't, you know, I didn't think it would happen. You know, this is weird. It just feels weird to be talking about Mike Smith being fired right now. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
It is weird. And it's so shocking to me. I felt like I had to talk about this with somebody because I live in Atlanta and I'm in Falcons country, and
yeah.
like there's just nobody to talk to about this with and to like commiserate. I mean, obviously they've fired Mike Smith in the past, so there's that. But I felt like I had to jump on. I don't know when I'll have to jump off because I am at work.
Yeah.
But it's good to have the. It's great seeing you guys in the chat too. Just everything that you're saying.
Everybody's celebrating, man. Like,
And that's what I love about this. It's like we have a tight knit community of Bucks fans who really care so much about this team, like you and I do. And I feel like we're all on the same plane. We're all the same. I want to appreciate the fact that guys like you and the Pewter Cast and all the other Bucks fan sites and podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff. Appreciate all the work that they've done of how we've just been able to vent and talk this out. And now we get to celebrate something together, which is so funny because we just lost a heartbreaking game. And now suddenly there's like this great hope that like this like one thing that would have given us hope. Now, the question of what happens now and like, is this going to fix the defense? I think we should temper our expectations on this big time.
just have slight celebrations for right now.
Yeah, let's not go over the top. I'm excited. Clearly, you're excited. Everybody in the chat's excited. I mean, let's own it and let's take that and own it. But at the same time, let's take a step back after a few hours of popping champagne and really think, okay, this is kind of a broken scheme, so to speak. We will now see if everyone was right, if it was one person's fault, or if it is a much bigger issue with player execution, communication, and all that stuff. So in a season that so far we're 2-3 and Dirk Cutter's fighting for his job now, it's going to be now worth watching, whereas a lot of us might have been jumping ship already. Yeah. So that is that glimmer of hope there. But I personally am thinking we might be marginally better. But right. I don't know if we can expect this defense to have a huge turnaround. Maybe we can, but I don't know.
What I think is, by the way, Corey, I want to say congrats on 1K.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody's saying in the chat for the congrats on 1K.
Oh, thanks, guys.
What I think is interesting is not only are the fans under the belief that it was all under one person, this is all under Mike Smith, but now it's kind of like the organization was starting to, or now the organization clearly kind of thought that way as well, obviously it took a lot longer for them to come to that conclusion, but I believe now everybody has the same opinion of, okay, it was probably Mike Smith's fault,
Yeah. I mean, he clearly is a large portion. I mean, he has to take the blame because he implemented the scheme. Jason Light's given him tons of players to work with. Remember last year, we're like, oh well, the defensive line's not getting sacked, so therefore the corners and the whole secondary is having trouble because the quarterback has all the time in the world to throw, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we fixed that defensive line, supposedly. They're still not getting to the quarterback except for JPP, and it's more of the same. So you can't blame anybody but the guy at the top quote unquote, which is Mike Smith. So
right. And if Mark Duffner does end up being the interim defensive coordinator, just to give you guys a little bit of a background of Mark Duffner and whatnot, he's known Dirk Cutter, he's known Mike Smith for a very long time. He was the linebackers coach back with the Jacksonville Jaguars when Dirk Cutter and Mike Smith were both there under head coach Jack Del Rio, and he's been a former defensive coordinator before. So we're getting a very if it does end up being Mark Duffner, we're getting a very experienced guy who's been around the league forever. He's been a head coach for college teams. He's been a linebackers and defensive coordinators, personnel guy for multiple NFL teams. So, pretty good interim replacement if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
He's very experienced. He knows how to run. He obviously has been around a Mike Smith defense before. I think it would have been a little bit of a more shakier situation if Brenson Buckner would have been there, because Brenson Buckner has, he's just as new to this Mike Smith defense as some of the players are, because he just got here. Mark Duffner's known this defense since 2008, since apparently that's how old Mike Smith's defense is from what some people were telling me. But you could certainly do a lot worse than Mark Duffner, the Duffinator.
Yeah.
I might finally get my wish of the Duffinator coming in.
Yeah, or Duffman.
Or the Duff Man. He's gonna have a lot of nicknames from us. Yeah. What I'm interested to see now is if he's gonna be up in the booth or is he gonna be on the sidelines? Because I don't know. Is that defensive coordinator preference, or is that something that they're told to do?
I think it's preference. From everything I've seen, for instance, with the Falcons, when they lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators last year, it was a thing where they experimented in preseason. Mm-hmm. So because both of them, both Sark and the defensive coordinator, I can't remember his name, didn't have enough experience to know which one they preferred. So in other words, they left it up to them eventually. But real quick, Bucksman13 says, "Can he have another hug?" So here we go, guys. We did it. We're hugging. So that's one hug for everybody out there.
There you go.
Even though coming off a loss, this is a win. So
it's so weird, because in one move, almost all emotions have been erased from this past loss. I mean, in the immediate sense, obviously. Yes. As time goes on, we might just sit there and think, "Oh my gosh, why didn't we do this sooner?" But as of right now, this has completely washed away all feelings of dread and despair from our past loss. So it's very...
sorry to cut you off, but this makes me wonder now, like, this is something I thought would never happen. And another thing I thought that won't happen is if we traded for a player such as Patrick Peterson.
Right.
So this move, if it was Dirk's call, leads me to believe that he knows he is in trouble here, and they might try to go all out and do what they can and get a guy like Pat Pete. Now, the big thing, I think Greg Auman pointed it out, that this team cannot afford Peterson, but that's just on the surface level. Who knows what Mike Greenberg and Jason Light can do as far as restructuring contracts and all that stuff. So there's that. But let's just live in the reality that at least we got one thing we wanted.
Right. And what's so interesting now is what's so interesting now is before, when we talked about these personnel moves, like, oh, maybe the Bucs could trade for a linebacker safety hybrid and a Deion Buchanan, or maybe they could trade for a Patrick Peterson. Every time we talked about this, everybody would respond with, Mike Smith won't know how to use them. Well, now Mike Smith's gone. Mm-hmm. It's so, so now with maybe that communication barrier or that communication problems maybe being lessened a little bit, that might make things a little bit easier, not just for the players that the Bucs have right now on the team, for the linebackers like Quan Alexander and for Levante David, but maybe for any potential guys that they bring in, now that you could argue that the Bucs are in a win now mode,
Yeah.
Which I think should be interesting to see. The trade deadline is October 30th, Corey, which should be interesting. Are you checking Twitter just to see what's going on?
No, sorry, I got I am hearing you. I just got a work call, and so I'm texting them to give me 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 5 minutes. So.
I'm just checking out Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to jump on your stream, because I realized that somebody might try to take me out of it. So anyway, wrapping up feelings here. Number one, very happy, because this is just hope in a hopeless world is what it feels like. Mm-hmm. Again, it may not be it may not be the results that we still want, but it's something, and it shows that the team is listening.
Yeah.
So that's what gives me hope. And then also, I now have to shoot I think I need to shoot a whole new video, because last night I spent half of my video on Mike Smith, and I was planning on releasing it Wednesday, and now
he's gone.
Everything's changed. Everything's changed.
It's so weird, because it feels like an eternity that Mike Smith has, every game feels like it's been like a month of torture,
Yeah.
It just feels so long, and now that it's over, it's we're free, in a way.
Yeah.
so people are saying in the chat right now that it's been confirmed. So Buccaneers have officially confirmed that Mark Duffner is replacing Mike Smith, which is okay. There it is. The Duffinator's in. You know, the Duffinator's in. The Duff Man, the Duffinator, Mark Duffner. That's good. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
There's definitely going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. There's definitely going to be a lot of stuff to talk about now for the rest of the season. You know, a lot of people were starting to get really melancholy on the season, you know, and starting to lose some of that steam. But I think this puts a lot of people's hopes right back up, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be very interesting to see.
So, yeah, I got to dip out, but thanks for having me on just so we could all celebrate together. This was really fun. And this is why I like doing the YouTube channel, is because it brings kind of this community together that we all get to talk about it.
Oh my gosh, everybody's just celebrating in the chat.
Yes.
So I think we'll be celebrating for the next week probably. You know, so,
until we lose next week against the Browns.
Hey, Mark Duffner's in, so things will be all right.
Okay, well, one last thing I will say, speaking of that, is that this team historically has loved to lose to backup quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks. We have a rookie quarterback coming in who technically is a backup or was a backup at the beginning of the season, and one who is super accurate. So the biggest problem with this defense has been high completion percentage allowed against them, and this will be a great test to see any type of change that Duffner brings. Are we going to allow those easy passes? That's what I want to see. So, and then also Baker can move a little bit. So, lots of questions here.
Lots of questions indeed. I want to give you Scott Smith just tweeted this out, Corey. This one will be the last thing, but this is a quote from Dirk Cutter. I have the utmost respect for Mike Smith as a man and as a football coach. These decisions are always difficult, but our top priority here is to ensure that we do everything possible to help this team succeed. As I have said in the past, the issues we have had as a team are never one person's fault. During good times as well as the bad, it is a collective effort between the coaches and the players. We all understand that this is a result-based profession, and our results to this point have not met our standards. I want to thank Mike for all the hard work and passion he has displayed here on a daily basis, and I wish him well moving forward. So, you know, that's a very by-the-books kind of quote, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was well released by the PR people who wrote that.
Right.
Well said. But yeah, I mean, he said what we wanted him to say. I mean, it wasn't up to snuff, and the standards are higher and should be higher than they were. And just keeping him on here says to the public, we're okay with being the worst defense in the NFL. This shows that they are not okay with it, which is the right move. So
right. And
very happy.
There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about moving forward, Corey. And,
for sure.
We're definitely going to be working a lot on videos and live streams and whatnot, and getting all this content out and talking about all of this. I know you have to go back to work, so I'll let you go. Yep. But thank you for joining me on such short notice. That means a lot. That definitely does mean a lot to the 92 people watching this live stream. If you haven't subscribed to Corey yet, the Play Reaction, go subscribe to him. Corey, if you want to go ahead and put something in the chat and whatnot, to just kind of give you guys a review and just kind of final note here. Mike Smith has been fired. Mark Duffner is the interim defensive coordinator, and everybody's partying.
Yeah.
Everybody's partying. So there you go, the Play Reaction with the little wrench. If you guys want to go click on his channel and go subscribe to him, he just hit 1,000 subscribers. To the 92 of you watching, if you haven't subscribed to him, go check it out. He has a new video coming out very soon, and it'll be updated. It'll be updated on the entire Mike Smith situation. We'll both be putting out a ton of content talking about not just the Mike Smith move and the Mark Duffner interim move, but any other moves that are surrounding this situation and going forward. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. We both got to get going here, but Corey, do you have any final words before we head out?
All I have to say is go Bucks.
Go Bucks. This is definitely interesting. There will be a lot to talk about moving forward. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, we will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucks.